Saunders, I'd like to get our athletic staff, if they will, to stand up, so.
I'd like to.
Yeah, a chance to see them.
I will, I don't know how our time is going, but I will tell you how much I have enjoyed working with the athletic program where I am. Much of the credit for all of the credit for the success goes to communication and some incredible negotiating skills between my athletic director, the athletic director is sandwiched between president and the athletic program, and it takes a skillful person. It takes a person of high and unimpeachable integrity, and I think that we have that. I've certainly been told that we have that. And we have had to come through a number of problems up there. We have a long history of an active athletic program, but when I got there, and I may have told some of you this story before, there was actually a letter waiting on my desk that addressed to my predecessor from the Office of Civil Rights. And it was referring to a 7-year-old Title IX complaint that had been lying about. And I'm paraphrasing this letter, but it said something like this: Dear Chancellor, we've about messed around with you people all we intend to. If you don't clean this up, you're going to lose your financial aid. And that was the day I was putting my boxes down. So I picked up the phone, called the athletic director, and I said, I don't remember hearing about this in an interview. Perhaps you could brief me. And what I thought was such a testimony to the program, and what I would surely like to see here, is my approach is let's put everything on the table. What can we do? And non-judgmentally, every painful option on the table. And then let's start sorting through them. And it was a real credit to his negotiating skill that he worked with the coaches, he worked with his staff. People had very different ideas on what we needed to do. We didn't have all the money in the world to throw at it. If we had, we wouldn't have had a problem. And about a month ago, I got a letter from OCR closing the complaint. And that was probably one of the greatest experiences I've had since being a chancellor, because that was, you know, financial aid's really important, and you really don't want to jeopardize that. And so, but what I got to see was teamwork at an incredible level, and that is certainly something that I got kind of spoiled, and it's what I would expect, and it's what I imagine is going to happen here. Thank you so much for coming, and any other questions?
From the student athlete.
Yes, sure.
Dr. Saunders, my name is Liz Bowden. I'm a member of the women's basketball team here, and I'm actually from Racine, Wisconsin.
All right.
So I was just wondering if you yourself had played any sports in high school or collegiate level.
No, I didn't. And here is why. Because they didn't have any women's sports. Women in my high school could play on the golf team, or they could play on the tennis team. And the only way you could learn golf or tennis is if your family was wealthy enough to be in the country club. And I played softball in the summers, and I loved it. And all the physical education, track, and things like that. And you hit a real nerve when you ask that question, because I resented that a long time. Because the ability to work on a team is a growth opportunity. And women didn't get that opportunity then. I'll have to tell you this, because the justification was, well, we need our girls to be studying so our ACT scores stay high. A lot has changed, and I think it's changed for the better. Yes, sir.
When my wife told me that you were a very good athlete because she remembers you from physical education, and that you were very athletic,
Yes.
Patty Overstreet.
Yes.
And so she told me that right away, and I said, well, we don't have any problems.
Well, I just had to channel my energies elsewhere, so, and it worked out. But I was one singing the high praises when opportunities came to women in sports.
No other questions?
Take a break. That's my cousin.
I don't know.